You know what time it is. It's time for Saturday Night Special. The show where we're
cock loaded and ready to rock.
That's right. It's SNS, not your normal comic show. We've got a lot of fun tonight, I think. We've got some...
got a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, yeah. We're going to talk She-Hulk. We're going to talk that dumbass show, House of the Dude Dragon or the House of the Boring Dragon.
Did you say House of the Boy Dragon?
Boring.
Oh, I was like, what is the House of the Boy Dragon? I was like...
We've got some comic reviews we're going to do. We've got a new segment we're going to try out. It's called Movie Wars. I think it's, which is the movie you'd rather see kind of deal. And we're going to try to do it as a theme, but today I kind of just did it as fun just to try it out. So, but we got a lot of cool stuff that we're going to do. We were going to start with Ish, but it looks like he's fashionably late. Or he bailed on us, one of the two. I'm not sure yet. So
he's fashionably fashionable.
I'll bring something up real quick while we're a little funny thing. I sent it to Matt in the chat, but I was driving to run errands and stuff today, and I pulled up to this intersection. And you know how everywhere there's homeless people with signs now. I probably saw one of the best signs. That if he was just a smudge closer, I actually probably would have given him money. And I sent it to Matt this morning, and it said, "Where's it at?" Here, I'll just share my screen real quick.
On time, It's incredible to me that you would expect a man named Ish to show up on time. What time is it starting? 5-ish.
So what his sign said, let me see if I can. It says, "I want money for beers and hookers."
Me too.
And I was like, that guy deserves money. Even if he's not homeless. No, that guy deserves money. At least he's being honest. And you know what? Maybe he just wants a good Saturday night. And he doesn't have the internet to watch Saturday Night Special. But
Fair.
I want money for beer and hookers. And I like how he made the two O's look like boobies. Just to drive it home what he really wanted. Let me add Ish into this. Hello, Ish. How you doing?
The cherry on topper.
So
the internet working?
I just thought
Ish.
that was funny.
It's working, Ish.
There we are.
So, Ish, what was the comic book store like this week?
It was pretty exciting because we moved an AF-15, and it's kind of bittersweet because now we don't have one, and we have to go pursue one. But it's always a pretty big deal.
So you sold an AF-15 this week?
Yeah, the one we've had for like a month.
No way.
2 months, maybe.
Was this something that was planned, or did someone just actually walk in the store and says, "I fucking need that"?
No, it was a deal that had kind of been in the works for a bit, and then
a Moby Dick finally
pulled the trigger, pulled it out of the case.
How much did you sell it for?
I get arrested whenever I pull it out of the case. I don't know about you, but
is that how you get beer and hookers?
Yep, I pull it out of the case.
So for
they laugh because it's so small.
Money, you sold an AF-15. What else happened in the shop? What was the books that people were most excited about this week?
Well, yeah, always a lot of kids coming in for that Fortnite book. That generates a lot of excitement with the kiddies. I don't know. Otherwise, there wasn't really one book that totally stood out. I'll be honest with you.
What book were you most excited for this week?
I'm always excited for Fantastic Four. So
He was excited
that's
for
a
whatever
personal
book
favorite.
sold.
So every time that comes out, it's always
What
nice to
issue
have
is
that
that
in my
on?
pile. Issue 46. So they're 2 issues away from the final issue with Dan Slott, which is weird. They can't go to 50. They got to end it at 48 and start again with a new number 1. But
Just like Dan Slott, can't finish yet.
Ish, was there a lot of yelling at the comic book store this week?
is this in reference to my voice?
Yes.
Yes.
No, he's excited over Star Trek.
Screaming at the top of my lungs.
We're rich. We sold an AF-15.
No, I'm coming off of something, and just earlier, actually, I fucking popped my ear, so I'm having a bit of a rough time right now.
You popped your ear?
Yeah, I was blowing my nose so hard, my ear popped,
Did you blow your eardrum?
and I can't get it to pop back in.
Just get a Q-tip and shove it back in.
So anyway,
No, that's not a good
TMI.
idea.
So what else happened in the comic book store besides the AF-15?
What else? We actually had.
Do you need anything
we've
else?
had a
You sold an
regular
AF-15.
customer. We've had a regular customer who's been shopping with us since he was 13 years old. We celebrate our 6th anniversary this year. So
I
he's
thought you said he
18.
was 14.
and no, so he's going off to college. So he kind of came by to say goodbye. And that was kind of, when we have these stores and our regulars, they kind of become like family. You make friends and everybody becomes kind of a part of the fabric of the store. And so I don't know if he's listening tonight. Shout out to Carson. We've known him since he was a little kid. He's got amazing taste in comic books. I'll give him credit for that. And now he's moving away, going to college. So he asked that we still kind of collect a couple books, but basically had to close his pull folder for the most part.
Where's he going to school from? Or to?
It's undisclosed.
I believe NAU. So he's not that far, but they got a comic book shop up there too. So.
Oh, well, that's not dedication. Dedication would be like, mail me my books every week-ish.
Dude, that's what there was from the other store
that can get expensive.
He was in the Air Force. He's in the Air Force, and dude, they shipped him wherever he was in the world. They shipped him his books like every month. So,
What if you were in the Space Force?
Yeah, we had a customer.
Then I would be contacting Elon and be like, look, we need to work something out because I need to get my books to space.
Yeah, launch them up in a Tesla. Let's see how that works.
So
You
if
do it with Bezos because you get free shipping if you have Amazon Prime.
If Vin Diesel and the guys from Fast and the Furious can put a Fiero in space, I can get my comic books in space, all right?
You got that right.
Sticks Boy, what Hartman's talking about is we're live on Rennavision as well as Absolute Geek. So you can
both chats,
you
'cause he
can
represents both
join us
ways.
in either chat for either YouTube channel. But
He runs both ways.
so I know some of you guys in here watch our Thresholds of Reality, and it was just kind of funny to me. And we touched on it when we were interviewing him. We were interviewing a guy named Bart
Sabrell.
And what he was doing is he was proving that the moon landing never happened.
Oh, this
Staged, it was filmed here on Earth. We never made it to the moon.
The moon landing was fake, but the film was staged on another planet.
Yes, it was really on Mars.
Correct.
But what was kind of funny is, we were talking about this, and it's just, we've made, supposedly we've made 6 trips to the moon, but now NASA is testing the radiation to get to the moon, so they have these they're putting these fake type of humans in with all these probes and stuff to see the measure of radiation that they're going to get going to the moon. Don't you think they would have already figured that out? I don't know.
Yeah, the unmanned Artemis space mission launched today. But shout out to Patrick for mentioning our best episode ever, Jason Bourne. otherwise known as Johnny G.
All I know is I want to
Shout
take
out to
whatever
Shane
that
for
dude's
watching
on.
us from Australia.
Whatever that dude takes, that's what I want. I don't know if it's ayahuasca or what, but that dude is nuts.
He takes this. Yeah, he takes the same thing that Aaron Rodgers does.
Yeah, ayahuasca, dude's that dude's nuts. And
What's up, Shane? So, I just thought that I was at the bar last night. And we were talking about that. I just, we made it there 6 times, but you know what? Now we really got to test the radiation. Now that we're really gonna do it.
We really should have done that in the first set of moon trips, but we'll figure it out eventually.
So, but enough of that talk. On to comic talk. What should we start with, Matt?
we can start with Sam's anime stuff if he's ready to go. We can start with the news, whatever you guys want to do.
Let's do some anime talk. Let me get that.
Big news time.
Big news. Hold on. My computer's being stupid slow right now. Slideshow.
Big news delivered at a slow pace.
Big news.
Hold on, I guess I got to switch
This one,
screens.
the first story up is the one for everybody who likes One Punch Man but wished it had more cock in it. Now's a great time for that slide.
I don't know if
And there's the cock.
punched.
There we go. Rooster Fighter. Volume 1 is now available for purchase. We highlighted this on another channel in the distant past, but this is one of my favorite titles coming out today. It's about a rooster who kicks ass, and it is fantastic. It's hilarious. It's a little bit sexual. In the first chapter, you see the rooster laying some pipe with some hens in the hen house. It's fantastic.
The cock is laying some cock.
Yeah. And this is a fantastic title. I hope you guys check it out. Rooster Fighter. It's available at viz.com and probably at your local bookstore. Next up, there was some big news. There's big news in My Hero Academia for the last couple issues. Big things happening. If you watch the anime, there's some big spoilers here. But Bakugo has had a rough go of it. He's not looking too good in the comic these days. And then also we got to the big reveal of the big bad, All for One. His face was finally revealed. Do you have that slide too, Kyle? But yeah, this is All for One. Getting a good look at his face finally. Is he Deku's father? I mean, that's a real question. We don't know. That's something that's kind of been hanging out for a long time. My Hero Academia has a lot of references to Star Wars. A lot of their location names are locations from Star Wars. They have like Jakku and Tatooine and
That's
all these
Star Wars stuff.
Hoth. Yeah, but they reference it in My Hero Academia. So a lot of people think that means that the big villain is going to end up being Deku's father. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out.
Sweet.
Stickboy says all for one is all for love.
So those of you who are, Netflix subscribers or fans of One Piece know that Netflix has been working on several live-action anime adaptations. They dropped Cowboy Bebop earlier this year, and I thought it was pretty decent. There was obviously some big missteps there, but that particular adaptation was done by the same studio who's doing the One Piece live-action adaptation for Netflix, and they wrapped principal photography on season 1 of the live action. They're going to have 10 episodes. It's looking very promising, at least from the set photos and the casting announcements that have been made. So I have, a little bit of hope for this one. I'm hoping that it turns out pretty well. They do have a lot coming ahead, which is the post, the visual effects, the sound effects that they've got to add. The music's got to be good. And hopefully they're able to pull it off. They're certainly spending a lot of money on it. The rumor is that it's about $9 million per episode. And 10 episodes gives it about $90 to $100 million budget. So hopefully they pull it off. I don't know how much they're going to spend on the visual effects, but I know that Netflix acquired the visual effects studio that did King Kong versus Godzilla, and has done a lot of visual effects packages for a lot of big movies, big action movies, comic book movies that you guys are familiar with. They're called Scanline VFX, and Netflix, they're out of Germany. Netflix bought them, and my guess is they're probably going to be the ones working on One Piece live action. How faithful will it be to the book? That's a great question. Well, my guess is it's probably
80-20.
going to. What's that?
80-20.
My guess is well, I'll tell you, they're probably not going to go panel for panel. For example, the introduction of one of the main characters, Roronoa Zoro, is going to happen before his introduction in the manga would have happened, because they're going to show him being approached by a group of bounty hunters that would figure very heavily in season 2 if it gets that far. And that's not something that you see in the manga. They reference it in the manga, but they don't actually show it in the manga. So my guess is they're going to take some liberties, which is natural. It's not going to be panel for panel, but if it's even halfway decent, like, I think this could be a big thing. Probably as big as Game of Thrones, maybe. But we'll see.
Well, that's going to suck because that show blows.
Yeah, well, the thing about Game of Thrones is they ran out of source material before they got to the end of it. With One Piece, they'll probably run out of
way before that.
They'll probably run out of actors before they run out of source material.
You know when Game of Thrones sucked? Season 1, episode 1.
I can't say. I have never seen it.
Like I was saying earlier in our chat, my wife is doing a Game of Thrones trivia tomorrow at her work. So I had to sit there and fucking suffer through fucking all of those horrible episodes. Nudity did not save that show. Like True Blood, nudity saved that show.
That's pretty sad, Kyle.
Wasn't even worth fast forwarding to the nudity.
All right, last slide. A lot of you who watch anime are fans of the Fullmetal Alchemist series. This still right here is from the latest Fullmetal Alchemist live action movie, which is Revenge of Scar. But Netflix announced that they're going to do a third live action movie. Is the final. Let's see, what was it called? The final transmutation on.
Absolutely, Jedi, just for you, buddy.
Yeah. So there's going to be another live action Fullmetal Alchemist movie. They're doing pretty well. I watched this one and I enjoyed it pretty well. Hopefully they continue to do well.
That one's coming to Netflix too, Transmutation.
Well, all three of them are. The first two are on Netflix right now. So yeah, we would expect the other one to come to Netflix. I think Netflix is producing it. So yeah, it'll be on Netflix.
And I'm surprised you didn't talk about One Piece being Toei's biggest anime movie to date.
Well, that is true. I just think box office numbers are pretty boring, especially when they're from Japan.
Granted.
So I know we've talked about in the past that Netflix was is thinking about going to ads. Well, what do you guys think that if you pick the ads version, it cuts your Netflix bill in half?
Yeah, but you still have to watch ads.
I hate ads, dude. I hate them so much. I would rather pay.
Like, that's what drives me nuts about what is it, Hulu, where you have to watch the same 2 fucking commercials over and over again. And same thing with, like, if you watch something on like DirecTV, like a past show, it's the same 2 commercials.
I just want to leave Netflix alone and not do like the blocking the password sharing, so I just can continue stealing other people's Netflix.
Yeah, I think I had an idea. An idea came to me when we were doing Couch Crunchers to do like a streaming co-op where everyone would commit their passwords and their streaming sites to a group, and then everyone would share. But apparently Netflix doesn't think that's a great idea.
Sharing is not caring for Netflix. Not at all.
So they're like, we're
What do you
making all
think,
these
Ish?
series and spending $100 million. We got to recoup by upping your bill and make it so you can't password share to make you poor sons of bitches pay for it.
You know what Netflix could do though, and this is radical, is they could actually produce good content. And then they wouldn't have this big of a streaming problem.
You're asking a lot.
Like just produce content that people really want to watch, and then you won't have these big problems.
Because it seems like when I try to pick something on Netflix, it's like you settle for something to watch. Like, like my wife and I will go through it. We'll be like, okay. Well, I guess we'll pick between these 2 things.
And it's usually something you've watched like 1,000 times. Like it's a movie you've seen like 1,000 times.
Yeah. I'm watching, I'll watch the latest thing. So like Sandman or Stranger Things. And then I go back to One Piece reruns, or I go back to Better Call Saul reruns, although Better Call Saul might be coming off soon. Or Breaking Bad, same stuff in between like the big show pieces that they promote. But a lot of their stuff, I'm just like, not interested. If it weren't for the guy coming on Thresholds, I would never have looked at Haunted. And Haunted turns out it's very chilling because it's like real life stories.
Yeah, real life ghost stories. That was pretty cool.
It's the thing about streaming service though that's kind of annoying is like that was supposed to be the transition away from cable. It was supposed to be a la carte. Like now it's becoming like cable where you have to, instead of just paying like $200 to get all these channels, you have to pay individually pretty much the same amount, if not more, to have all these streaming channels to make sure you can watch all this content. Like it's just a new form of cable. It's ridiculous.
It's just too expensive to have all of them.
Yeah. Which is why I don't have HBO Max or Hulu.
You just need to start
We
an
just dropped
LLC so
Apple
we can just
TV.
write it off. Just start an LLC for Rennavision so we can just start writing this stuff off, write our subscriptions off. Sam is a lawyer. He can handle all that. He can handle
I'm on it.
legalities
Already
of
on
that.
it. Clickety.
Yeah, he can handle all the filing of the paperwork.
Already done. You hear that?
Yep, it's submitted.
So should we get into our big topic of the week?
What's that? Our news?
No, CBCS.
Well, that's part of the. I threw that on the news, but yeah, we can talk about it. Here, watch this. We're gonna do this. Yeah, all right. There you go, Kyle. CBCS. What's up with CBCS? CBCS.
So it came to light.
Someone's dinner's ready, it sounds like.
Probably Ish.
Is it time for another Ish? What's Ish housing on Saturday nights?
What's Ish?
That was
doing
Attila's
tonight?
dinner.
Don't burn a hot dog tonight, Ish.
Oh man, that was bad.
So it came out this week that Stephen Mcdonald of Clan McDonald Comics, if you've been on Facebook for any period of time, I'm sure you've stumbled across his Facebook group. He's a big facilitator for CBCS. I've sent him books in the past to go, and he would get books signed for me, and then he'd get them graded, and he would have them shipped back to me. Like I had my Thanos 13 signed by, and I had my Scotty Young Spider-Man Deadpool cover signed, and he sent it back to me. Really nice guy, really cool dude. Who came out this week as, after almost 7 years of business, after months and weekly, what happened is CBCS is not able to locate 367 of his submitted books as of July of 2021. How the fuck do you lose 367 books?
Well, it's not just that. Yeah, he submitted them in July 2021, and they waited like a year to answer him back and say, we don't know where your books are. Like, I don't know, man. Between like the stuff going on with CGC and that stupid acetane cover, and now the CBCS stuff, you got to think like PGX is just sitting there licking their chops, and they're like, man, if we can actually get our shit together, we could come out smelling like roses on this.
I'll say with EGS, they have to be like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, I don't know about PGX, but EGS, they actually just got their own proprietary slabs too this summer, so they're ready to rock and roll. This is their chance.
I might have to give them another shot.
So is this just a question
of EGS?
Is this just a question of hubris? Like the comic book grading companies that are at the top just say, where else are you going to take your stuff? We lost your stuff. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. Nothing we're going to do about it. Good luck finding someone else to grade your stuff. Is that what's happening?
Everything except the part that we're not going to do anything about it. That's not true. They will. They have insurance that covers this kind of stuff.
Well,
they
and they came out.
Go through the entire process of figuring out what the hell happened. But yeah, it sucks. Everything you said was true, except they're not saying, oh, we're not doing anything about it. Of course not. Both companies have been inundated in the last 2 years to the point where CGC even has to have an optimization firm come in and see if they could shore up their process.
I could understand a book or two, shit happens, it gets misplaced, but 367 books, that's a lot of fucking books.
And
crazy,
and like my point of view though is like, that's cool that you're going to take responsibility for it and fix it. But why did you give this dude the runaround for a year before coming out and saying, look, we can't just find your books. We don't know what happened to them if they got lost in the move from Florida to Dallas. We have no idea what's going on with them. That's cool that you're going to come out and say you're going to launch an investigation and find out what's going on with misplaced orders and handle it. But why is it happening in the first place? Like every time I drop off a book to CBCS or CGC, I'm scared I'm not going to get it back. Like if only they had some sort of way or system where you hand them a book, they go, okay, and they get a barcode and they scan it in and at least in their system so you can track it somehow. But it's so sketchy.
I didn't know it's been a year. That's crazy. I thought this was kind of a new thing that just happened.
He talks about how he's been given the runaround for a year before they would finally admit that they can't find it.
After a year, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
and
I'll tell you that.
The awesome thing that I know that Steven does is every book that he gets, he scans it so he knows exactly which book is yours to get back. So every book that they're missing, he's got scans of it. So he knows, you know what I mean? Like, but like 300, I mean, that's short boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money to get that all graded too, man.
Like, I just don't get it. Like, how do you misplace that many books? Like, that's not a myth. How can you really say we misplaced 367 books?
So when I hear a company has been negligent or committed some wrongdoing, say a year later that they're going to initiate an investigation, to me, that says they've already done the investigation, and now it's time to cover their ass. That's
Probably.
the purpose of the investigation they're initiating now, is how can we make ourselves still look good in the face of having done something wrong or allowed something bad to happen to these books. So my guess is they already know what happened to the books. Somebody walked off with them, and it was probably someone they employed. And so now they're saying, okay, well, how do we make ourselves look like the hero here?
Is there a way to be a hero here?
Somebody was like, man, Hulk 181, that's got to be at least a 9.0. Pulled it, put it away, took the form, crumpled up. Kobe shot it in the trash, and we can't find it. Yeah, we don't know where it is. You know, I can't find that book. And that, I mean, it's good that you can get insurance on that type of thing through the mail and stuff. But good Lord, like what? Yeah. What's the
Like,
right?
I trip out when I said, like Matt was saying, I trip out when I said a few books and it just takes forever, and I get antsy, and I'm like, you know, I know, fuck, it's probably going to be me that it gets lost or something happens to it, and like I just.
I will say, I hope that that's not the case. I hope it's not the case that I hope they find the books, and I hope everybody's happy and everybody gets what they want in the end. Just in my experience, that's not the way it plays out.
Like, who said that? Hi Nathan was like, the best inventory management system has faults. I get that. Obviously, it's in their inventory. They just can't find the books.
But come out and say that. Be transparent about it. If
you know,
I don't know.
The best inventory system is probably banks, right? They only track one product, and that is money. And they catalog it, and they count it, and they count it again, and they count it like once every hour, make sure that their registers are all clear, and everybody's. And then if some money turns up missing, you know what happens? Somebody gets fired, and then there's a claim, and they notify somebody. And that's not what's happening here.
Says Sticks Boy says inventory loss is usually 10% faculty.
Faulty.
Faculty. Right, Logan?
The timing couldn't be worse for CBCS because they had a window with CGC and the whole acetate stuff and, you know, their recent troubles. That was an opportunity for CBCS to really step up and take a bigger share of the market. And then this happens. It's like, boom.
Well, right. And that's why I'm saying, like, you got to think like PGX and any other grading company that like EGS are sitting there licking their chops.
Say EGS.
Say it, like, EGS. They're licking their chops, like ready to go, and like
they're ready to scuff some corners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certificate of authenticity.
I don't know.
I just think it's.
With CGC. Sorry, with CGC, we had our Rob Liefeld signing last year, July.
I'm sorry.
And those books just went into the grading queue.
That long?
Yep. It took 13 months just to get into the grading queue.
Somebody didn't fast pass.
Well, we're not fast passing an entire signing event.
Oh, this guy brought him in. Just put him in the back, Dave.
You know, CGC announced that they fixed a lot of stuff and their turnaround time has decreased and all that. And a lot of that is true because I have seen people do submissions and get them back real quick. The problem is when all this newness was implemented, none of it was grandfathered. So whoever had already been waiting 8 months, they were just going to keep on waiting. But it was new submissions that were getting turned around fast.
I'll tell you. So at Phoenix Comic-Con, Phoenix Fan Fusion, I sent 4 books off to be graded by CBCS. 2 of Kyle's, it was 2 Kyle's, so it's 3 books. 2 Kyle's, 1 of mine. And I got them back fast passed in about a month. And that was probably the fastest I've ever gotten them back. They were out of my hands and back home in a month. But my biggest issue is that the fault in the system is one. So Kyle and I both sent off the Amazing Spider-Man 2001 World Trade Center special 9/11 World Trade Center special edition.
Yeah.
So
The small one.
yeah, so they're both great. They're both signed by Ramita, and so his was already signed, and I cracked it to get signed by somebody else, and I got mine signed by Ramita. They put on both books that they were signed by Ramita in 2018 and gave us both the same grades. So I don't know if mine's really an 8.0 or an 8.5, but they gave me Kyle's grades with all the same dates as Kyle's on it, and I had it all signed this year. And so it's just like they just like, oh, okay, and just copied and pasted all the paperwork and threw it in, and away it went.
Lazy fuckers.
So like I don't know if mine's actually an 8.0 or 8.5 or what it could be. I don't even know if mine was actually graded, because the grader notes are both all the same.
They're identical.
So it's just like there's got to be some sort of transparency or ownership in anything. Like I don't know, man. I feel like just saying, "Oh, we're launching an investigation," isn't really good enough. Because, like Sam said, it stinks of we already did our investigation. Now it's time to cover our ass because we know we fucked up and we don't want to take as much responsibility for it as we should.
Yeah, the only reason we knew which book was mine because mine actually under Ramita's signature, he wrote 18.
Yeah, he wrote the date. So
did he put the date on yours?
No, he didn't. Mine is not dated. So.
Did he say he was your friend, Kyle? Did he put it in writing?
I did not have him put it in writing, but the next time I see him, I'm gonna follow up on that.
Him and Kyle go on a trip every summer together. They're very good friends. They go to Martha's Vineyard every summer together.
We do, and we reenact Jaws. We hitchhike to the beach.
Like when Kyle was 5 years old, all over again, hitchhiking across Martha's Vineyard.
I'm surprised you didn't call him about that.
What's that?
I'm surprised you didn't call them about that.
I haven't yet. Where's it going to get me? Nowhere. You know? It's just like, oh, well, we graded it. That's what it is. Okay. But I don't know. There's just got to be some kind of like it. I don't know.
This boils down to me is it worth grading books now?
Not until shit gets figured out.
Comic Noob just says CGC just messed up sending 2 books with the same grade and barcode to another YouTuber. I'm sure that was someone else's book. So that is a lost book.
Yeah.
Damn.
This is amateur hour, man. This is Bush League.
And I get it. Mistakes are gonna happen. It's just the way it is. But
like that's what I'm saying. Like they need some sort of barcode system that they put a barcode, stick it to the front of your bag and board, scan it in their system. You've got the matching barcode on your paperwork, so that way you know and you can track it. So that way through the process, you know that's still your book. There's tons of times I question where, like, it's okay. Well, is this still my book that I'm getting back? Well, I don't remember this scuff being here, and that's why I've taken to actually before I send anything out to get graded, I'll put it in my scanner and save it in a file on my computer, so that way I can go like, oh, okay, just double check it's my book, because I'm very paranoid, and you hear that all the time that people are getting books back to like that wasn't my book, or that wasn't bent, or that wasn't done like this. You know, it's very you're relying on trusting them, because the minute you hand them that book or the minute you send it off and deliver it with them, it's out of your hands. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what's happening behind the Oz curtain, you know?
But I mean, I know, well, I guess I can't know if 100% sure, but I have sent books off to get signed and graded, and I've got them back, and I'm like, that is not the book that I sent. I have at least 3 examples that I could run to the other room and grab and bring back, because like I get certain books I know that are going to be like, and I've talked about this before, is like I've sent a couple books off to get I'd sent them off to somebody else to get signed and graded for me and sent back. It's like, and like Brian and I had a stack of books and we narrowed it down to like we had a fucking monocle or fucking like a jeweler's thing that we're looking for like imperfections. And we're like, okay. And then I get the book back and I'm like, 7.5? Whose fucking book is this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, bent back cover. This motherfucker didn't have a bent back cover when I sent it. But yeah, you're kind of right. What do you do now? Scuffed corners.
Stuffed corners. I don't know, man. It's just.
Is it worth grading books now?
Suddenly, a scuffed corner sounds a lot better than a bent back cover. Just saying.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's worth it, yes, because it definitely is it's a safety net on the value and the grade of that book, because you know that once it's encapsulated, the grade on that book is not going to change. But it shouldn't be that because it's graded by CBCS or well, I should say because it's graded by CGC, the value on it is better or more sought after than CBCS or PGX or whatever other company Ish wants to promote this week. You're not going to force me to say, you're not going to force me to say EGS again. Oh, there you go, EGS. But
when you had your Liefeld signing, did anybody send their books to EGS or did they all just automatically go to CGC?
Yeah, we just did CGC, of course.
What happens if somebody wants the option? Your shit out of luck.
I'll do it for them. If someone's like, "Hey, I want to send this to EGS," be like, "Bring it in. I'll set it up. I'll send it out gladly."
Do you get some kind of kickback from them, Ish? I just want
I'm just
full transparency here. You're just like, hey man, you're even sliding into my DMs and you be like, hey,
I feel like when I reach out to Tony, he's like, he never even remembers who I am. I'm like, come on, man. I bug you all the time.
One good thing I'll give to EGS is Tony, you
his customer service is
email
incredible.
him, he emails you right back.
Yep.
Like there is no if and and that's one thing I do like is communication. You know what I mean? Like if you I don't need special treatment, but like I need special treatment. I just want communication. Hey, where are my books? These are where your books. Like CBCS used to be like that. You could email CBCS and they would email you back, this is where our books are. This is where your books are. This is what's going on. Like you could call and like email them and they were super responsive. I don't think they are as much anymore.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I wish there was some way you could just scan a barcode or enter it in your computer or QR code or something where you can see where your book's at and, and where it's transparent. So you can be like, your book has been received. Your book has been, scanned in the system. Action? Your book is being read at home by Billy, the night shift man, in his underwear while he scratches himself or you just
with Cheetos
whatever
fingers.
with Cheetos fingers or whatever they do with those
cheesy
books, man. Like, it's just like
the encapsulated booger.
Yeah.
Tell me you got an
Wait,
encapsulated
Sticks Boy, what are you
stick.
saying is the insurance fraud? I don't get it.
But then, I mean, even like CGC pushing that bad idea, invisible book, like, what kind of shit is that? Like, it's just.
It's a bad. That was a bad idea. Like they're diminishing their own product.
Pun intended.
Diminishing their own product.
And it's so funny with all this craziness going on. Bad ideas back. They thought like, well, as long as there's a bunch of fuckery abound, we're back in business.
Yep, it's like it's time for us to come out of the woodworks now.
I don't know if everybody knows, they actually have a full comic book in this week's preview book.
Yes, they do. And it was actually kind of an interesting concept, but...
What's that again?
Bad Idea released like one of their books that's coming out in like the full book in this week's previews.
This month's previews.
Or this month's previews, sorry.
Big, like,
Sorry-ish. Sorry-ish.
So I feel, last words on this is I feel bad for Steven. I feel bad for each and every one of his customers that is, some books are hard to get to replace. like, you say it, oh, I could sell my collection because, every book is replaceable, but there are some books that I wouldn't be able to get. It would take me forever to acquire some of these books.
Yes. Stumbling Jedi said, how many AGP episodes has Kyle ripped grading companies' asses live on YouTube? I'll wait. Probably about as many as he's complained about waiting to get his books back from being graded. The very first time he says, I'm never fucking sending books away again because I can't do it. This is bullshit. And now he's got like tons of them. He just comes back. He's just a glutton for that punishment, baby.
Dude, I do not have the patience to send my books away to get graded. I just don't have it. It's not in me. I'm not patient when it comes to that. So
Stick Boys is saying you got short fingers, Kyle. I don't know what that's about.
I wish. Mark doesn't, but
because he has a deep rectum.
Wait.
Sorry.
Wait, what?
Oh, look, we got Sam back. Welcome to the conversation again, Sam.
Like a deep rectum? What? Is there any kind of grading? Is there any like kind of grading for manga and stuff, Sam, that you know of?
Not right. Nothing in the U.S. There's nobody grading manga volumes. I mean, honestly, the resale market for manga is pretty poor.
We could put them in the same kind of encapsulations that they do VHS.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically,
we could start a podcast called Manga Heads.
The problem with it is, like, they print them and they reprint them. Like, it's just not a really good resale value for manga volumes. But the manga magazines do have pretty good resale. So
but is it also because people who read manga, they're not encapsulating isn't their thing. It's actually reading them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where it's at. I mean, there is some resale going on with the manga magazines.
What, you mean by magazines or the original comic books? Because the original 80s manga comic books sell really well.
Yeah, they generally come in magazines. So like the first appearance of something is like a newsprint magazine, and you go to the corner store and you pick it up, and it's like 400 pages of 20 to 25 different manga series. And you might have one series that week that has a seminal plot point or introduction of a character or reveal of something happen in that chapter. And so that has some resale value because people are like, oh, I want to see it in its original presentation. And that's what we've been looking at as far as like trying to dig up manga volumes. And I'll grab one for example.
Could you imagine grading like all of your One Piece books?
So I picked up One Piece volume 100, and this itself probably will not have any resale value for a good 20 to 30 years. It's my earlier manga. Gonna have a volume 13 that has some foil on it. Even this doesn't have much resale value. It's like $30 for this. The original purchase price was $8, probably $30 for something like this. So it was a little bit of value, but not a ton.
Ish does it in the back of the comic book store. In the back room. Come with me.
You can go.
Servant number 32 for a butt check.
You can get your new releases and a prostate exam all at Fantastic
You
World
get a
Comics.
free new release with every butt check if you go to Ish.
He calls that deep rectum.
Deep rectum, you damn near killed him. So
I make everybody turn their head and cough.
you hear the snap of the rubber gloves.
Now one thing that does get passed around a lot as far as manga goes is the Free Comic Book Day One Punch Man. That seems to be doing well, year in, year out. But yeah, for the most part, those manga volumes, like I just showed you, don't have a lot of resale value.
Well, because is there even a physical manga for One Punch Man? Because isn't it all online?
You can buy those volumes, but the original chapter release is digital. Yeah, you're right.
But comics are online too.
Yeah, but I mean that's where One Punch Man started. It's not like most manga that start in print form. It was web based, and I think they transitioned to print form at some point.
Well, yeah. So the original is still ongoing. It's a web comic, and it's done by an author who has a pen name One, and he's the author of two really highly beloved series, One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100, and then Shueisha, the publisher, hired Yusuke Murata of Ice Shield 21 fame to come and work with One, and they are basically reinterpreting the original webcomic into a new manga that they publish online on a Shueisha-owned website. And they don't have a set schedule for when they publish. They publish it when the chapter's ready. And it generally takes about 10 days to 2 weeks between chapters. And it's actually a really neat format because Yusuke Murata is now adding animated GIFs into the weekly or the chapters. There was one where he had like a big cloud and it was like thunder and lightning, but it was just Garo and Saitama fighting, but it was a GIF and it was really, really cool. So yeah, One Punch Man is released digitally, and then they will compile those volumes and put them in like the books that I just showed you for One Piece.
No, Solo, it's just that you can't read.
Well, manga is we read what is it left to right, and in Japan it's right to left.
That's because they're smarter than us.
Right to left, but there's also we write our sentences right to left. They write them up and down.
Yeah.
We read them left to right. They write them up and down and then right to left. So it's even different that way. So when you get a volume like that, they have taken those up and down sentences and turned them into left to right text, but you still have to read the panels in the way that they were originally intended.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds hard.
Well, yeah, Kyle, you saw with Chainsaw Man how tough it could be, right?
Yeah. But Chainsaw Man was so good, I muscled through it.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people just prefer to wait for the anime. But yeah, the resale market for manga volumes, like, depends on the series. I'd say, like, you're not going to go to like a half price books and find a lot of One Piece there. People who buy One Piece volumes tend to hold on to them for a long time. You probably will find a lot of Naruto and a lot of Bleach, things that.
So that does gives them value then. People are hanging on to them. They're scarce. You know,
I will say that I had to replace. I did have to replace a volume not long ago, and it cost me $30. And the original retail price was $10, and it cost me $30 to replace. So as time goes on, I guess they do become more scarce. But there are 500 million volumes of One Piece in circulation right now. So, what is my thought on Record of Ragnarok? I haven't read Record of Ragnarok, but I did watch the season of anime they put on Netflix, and it's really kind of neat. It's like a fight club of all the different gods and mythos from human history. They've got some pretty wild character designs. I think Aphrodite is probably the most hilarious one. She's got like these men servants holding her giant boobs up. It's very funny. But yeah, I enjoyed the anime.
How do I apply for that job?
I've hired 2 people to do that for me.
So yeah, I do. I enjoyed the anime. I hopefully get the chance to dig into the manga, but you know, you do the things you have time for.
I can just picture Ish going, "You've been here 4 times, Tom. I'm not sticking my finger in your butt again for a free comic book."
But I gotta complete
Already
my
told
run.
you. But I really need that hot
Wait,
book.
wait.
Rich.
So
I really need
I
that hot
stick my
book.
finger in his butt, and he gets a free comic book.
Yeah, that's
This is
that's
starting
part
to
of
I don't
remind
the
think
me.
that's how it works. That's not how it works.
This is starting to remind me of a bad joke, but
There are no bad jokes here.
this guy goes up to these folks in the parking lot. He's like, "Oh man, they're so crazy. This guy over there, you really need to check your parking lot." He says, if you show him your butthole, he'll give you a cookie. And the guy picks up and takes a bite out of the cookie. He's like, "Yeah, anyway, he's over there." He's eating the cookie that the guy gave him. Oh, man.
Just one finger? I had to use all 5.
All right, so Peter Parker's Pants asked about Berserk. Berserk is a long-running series. It was very popular. Still is pretty popular, but the author of Berserk died. And he left instruction for another author to pick up where he left off. So it was on hiatus for probably, I think, 3 to 6 months. If I don't know exactly how long, but it was like 3 to 6 months. And they just started reissuing or republishing Berserk under the new author. I know that some people are a little reluctant to dive in with the new author because it seems very different from how it was originally. But this is the intended ending. I think they're trying to get the ending that it was intended to have under the first author. So it is awful that the author died, but very, very good series, and hopefully they can wrap it up and give it the send off that it needs.
Look at
Next
that.
question.
watch the anime.
Dude, watching TV is way easier than reading.
Yep.
Unless it's anime because they're subtitled. You're reading it anyway.
I just wait till it's American.
Wait till it's dubbed, yeah. But our next story, Ezra Miller reportedly met with Warner Brothers Discovery execs earlier this week to discuss the future of the upcoming Flash movie amid a recent string of high-profile controversies surrounding the actor, where he said, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm surprised it took that long to have it sit down.
I'm sorry that I'm crazy. I'm sorry." He's probably like, shit, look at all these legal fees I'm gonna have and probably all these lawsuits I'm gonna have. I'm gonna need some money. So I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I need that Flash money to pay off because I'm a fucking nut.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, but
I would like to have seen that conversation though. I'd like to have been like
fly on the
Solo.
wall.
That's sitting in that boardroom meeting. All right, Ezra. We really need to talk to you. We got, dude. We don't even know where to fucking start with you.
I heard by the end of the meeting, he got them all to join his cult.
I
So
believe
they
it.
all
They're
got
all on board.
tattooed. They're all on board.
Well, it's not a question of getting paid for it. Like, that's cool, but like, there's royalties and stuff that go along with DVD releases and toys and merchandising and all that they could still withhold from him. But or they could just scrap the movie altogether. Like, that's cool that you got paid, but just think of all the money that you're leaving on the table. There's a reason why some actors will be like, all right, well, I won't take any payment for this movie, but I want a cut of the DVD rights, or I want a cut of the home video rights, like the merchandise rights. There's still a lot of money left on the table, regardless if he got paid or not, if they scrap the movie.
Says hope he gets
I think they agreed that he's now replacing Amber Heard in Aquaman 2. That's why they had to delay
Nice.
I'm down with
Reshoots
that.
galore.
Hope he just runs circles around Aquaman. the whole
it. No,
time.
it's still going to be the character Mira, but it's just going to be him playing it now.
He's gonna have a red wig on.
My
buy
question is, how did the DC EU casting directors hire such train wrecks? How did they not
Well,
see that coming?
I don't think he was I don't
He
want to say
just
that.
recently here in the last year or two really became a train wreck.
2 years. It had started with him choking a fan out and overseas. So, want to fight? You want to fight? But I mean, I don't know if I guess Amber Heard's always been crazy, but it's, you know, what you show in public versus what's behind closed doors, I guess.
He's a methadone.
Yes, methadone acting.
But
yeah, he's just nuts.
Nutto. Moving on, the 30th anniversary of the death of Superman is bringing back the infamous black polybags with a twist. DC announced the Death of Superman 30th anniversary special. Number 1 will celebrate the legendary battle between Superman and Doomsday with 4 all-new stories. DC is also bringing back the original creative team for Death of Superman anniversary special. The team will tell a story that shows how some of Superman's biggest allies reacted during the aftermath of the fatal battle of Doomsday.
You know what I hate about these polybag books that are black like that? The books end up being fucked up. Remember when DC did all of those Harley Quinn, and it was hard to find books that weren't fucked up.
So
they take all the diamond damage returns now and then polybag them.
Do they?
No.
Oh, I was like, because it just sucks. You know, you buy 2 or 3 and you open them up and you're like, fuck.
So you can get a long box of these that can sit next to your long box of Death of Superman that you can't sell too.
Exactly.
And
you know what? We didn't order a single one of these.
I don't think a lot of stores will, honestly.
Just for that reason, I'm like, we have the original sitting right there. Why are you going to pay? I think it's like $15 too.
Yeah,
and they have, of course, like 10 million variants.
You got to do it for that full color anniversary poster.
Oh shit! Sold.
And the armband.
This is gonna put my kid through college.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna sell better than that? The $1 Frank Miller Ashcan preview. People care more about that than they do about this.
But and Stickboy says all returns end up in Walmart.
Dude, the Walmarts by me, they don't sell them anymore.
Yeah, I can't find them anywhere around here either.
It's hard.
It's a sad state of affairs when half the DC new releases don't even crack the top 200 in comic book sales.
Yeah, they're selling more manga at Walmart than they are comic books these days.
It says, Click says, won't these now have cardboard inserts? I hope so, because that Harley Quinn shit was horrible. I was pissed.
Peter Parker Pants says, same as the re-releases of Cyberforce and Shadowhawk, they're still in dollar bins.
They are. And that's where these are all going to end up again, right next to the other ones.
Yep. Moving on. The cover and solicitation for October's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 133 features Donatello and Jennica facing an attack from a mysterious foursome. Instead of having different colored eye masks, these turtles are showing with gray bandanas covering the lower parts of their faces. They also have the same weapons as Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo to really increase the confusion.
I'm interested in this. Are you, as a Turtles fan?
Yeah, I am. I'm very interested to see like what it is, if they're a clone or because they're heading into this Armageddon War storyline that they've been leading up to, and it came with Donatello finding Mona Lisa, who is from Venus de Milo. Thank you. Yes, Mona Lisa is someone else. Venus de Milo.
Mona Lisa smile.
Yeah, finding Venus de Milo, who is kind of like a Frankenstein turtle instead of being a female turtle like she was in the old TV show from the 80s, 90s. She is now kind of like a Frankenstein together turtle put together with different parts from different mutated individuals. So it'll be interesting to see if like the Rat King has turned them into has cloned them, or if this is kind of taken from the ending of Last Ronin. If you've read the ending of that, you know that there are more turtles out there now, and so it'll be interesting to see if they're adopting stuff from that, or
That's what BK says. These are the last Ronin turtles.
maybe. So,
I
we're
really
gonna
like that
just
cover
be-
too. I think it's a really cool cover.
I think you're gonna find out more about the last Ronin turtles in the Lost Day stuff that's coming out in November. So, because they're continuing that Lost Ronin universe, Kevin Eastman is. So, I think you'll find out more about that there. But yeah, I'm interested to see what's behind all this. Like I said, if they're clones or what. So, Secret Turtle Crisis. There you go.
Turtleverse. So, all right. Moving on.
In his upcoming remastered version of Brigade, Image Comics co-founder Rob Liefeld will roll out a totally new property, and one that he's described as unlike anything he's ever done before.
Doesn't look like it.
Spoiler alert, he's actually going to learn how to draw feet.
And as you see here, the one panel we have, they are cut off.
Well, like, look how tight he's holding his thighs. Like,
Yeah, he's really clenching those butt cheeks.
it's like
man.
he's tucking, bro. Or he's clenching the butt cheeks.
It's got to hurt the balls.
Yeah. Liefeld intends to tell the story of a world ground under the heels of a superpowered being, riffing on that even popular question: what if Superman chose to rule rather than to serve? Haven't we already seen that? The concept itself is something that has been riffed on quite a bit, right, in recent years. But James Gunn's Brightburn to The Boys to even some of the alternate realities within the Arrowverse on the CW.
But yeah,
He's doing the pee-pee dance. Yes. The pee-pee dance.
Gotta get this fight done.
Right.
But it is, look how big those calves are. It goes right to these little ass fucking chicken legs, like lower chicken legs.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's got an 8-pack. That's good. But it looks like a tiny little weenie.
It's from the steroids of the
yeah.
8-pack.
And I like how he's got that 8-pack, but he's got no pecs. So he just must do crunches just all day, but never work the upper body.
You know, here's the thing: is that when you're super strong, how do you get a good pump? How do you get a good pump?
I guess.
Just walking around. You're not just walking around pumped all the time.
Shane, I'm going to say tucked in.
Yeah, I think he's tucked in too.
I'm going with tucked in. My vote is tucked in. Good.
World of Feet. Stick Boys' Liefeld's new character is called the Golden Shower. I don't know. I asked this question with John Romita Jr. and him. How do these guys still keep getting work? And how do you keep going to a publisher and be like, look, I've got this concept. Here you go. You take one look at this art and you're like, sure, let me pay you to put this out. I understand there's still a lot of Liefeld heads out there, but it makes me wonder, like, what is wrong? Why do you think this art's so good?
I mean, let's be real. It's not terrible, but it is weird. There's like weird details that are like, the human body doesn't really look that way. I mean, I get maybe he's like an alien who looks human, but he's got the same anatomy, same musculature. It's just a little weird. Like legs don't go together that way, especially when they're jacked up like that. Have you ever seen bodybuilders try to put their legs together and flex? Like you can't do it.
But for as long as Rob Liefeld has been in this business, you would think that at some point he would catch on that he doesn't know how to draw anatomy, and he just doesn't. He's always got one arm that's bigger than the other, massive calves, little legs. It's just crazy. Can't draw feet, can't draw guns, forgets that a person has an upper lip. Like everybody in his drawings are like born with a cleft lip. Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah. This is what it boils down to. Liefeld has sales.
Yes, he does. And it's like whenever it really seems like whenever people are starting to forget about him. He sparks some kind of controversy, or he says something to get back in the news. Then he's like, "Well, I got a new book coming out. Pump those sales." Yeah, I don't know.
That is a good point right here. Why would Liefeld draw differently? The insults equal attention.
Yes, I agree with DK.
And he's in on the joke too. He'll say it, but don't say it to him. He gets pissed.
He'll block you. Yeah, still blocked to this day by him on Twitter.
I am as well, and I still have my blocked by Liefeld shirt.
Yep, still blocked by him. But I don't know, man. He is 100% a shill at this point. But what are you gonna do?
This summer in a theater near you, tucked in, starring Rob Liefeld's new character.
But that's it for news. Now it's time we get into a little bit of reviews as we're gonna talk.
News?
That's it.
What about the Lego dude that's gonna take the helm of DC?
Oh, did you not put that slide in there? Because I didn't put that slide in there.
Yeah, fuck it then.
We can talk about it though. That's fine. They got the Lego director who's gonna take over the helm of DC, which is still a stupid idea because he made a Lego movie that he thinks that qualifies you to be an all-inclusive, all-knowing entity behind DC?
That's a good question. Next time I see Rob Liefeld,
that is a great question.
I'm gonna bring a pair of 501s just to see if he'll sign it.
If you don't know what Click My Vid is talking about, like that's definitely worth a Google online to watch that commercial of him bragging about how he's never taken an art class in his life.
And it shows.
It all makes so much more sense.
But all right, let's do some reviews. Let's talk.
That is a nice little jingle. I like that jingle, man.
Yeah. Episode 2 of She-Hulk. How are you guys feeling about this series so far?
Okay,
I like it.
I'll say that episode 1 had me a little worried, but episode 2 totally redeemed it. I really enjoyed episode 2 a lot more than episode 1.
I like the nice quick episodes.
Do you like that they feel like they're less than 30 minutes?
Yeah,
it was less than 30 minutes. It was 25 minutes.
I still like that She-Hulk's dad is Cousin Larry.
I didn't even catch that.
Cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers.
Yes.
I didn't even catch. Well, when I first watched it, I was like, "Where have I seen that guy from before?" Like I know the voice. Like where have I seen him before? And then I saw you in our chat talking about Cousin Larry, and it's like Cousin Larry. And then Lance said it last night. He was like, "Perfect Strangers." Like that's where I fucking seen him from before.
You know
that's
who
where
else
he's
he is?
from.
You know who else he is though? In Finding Dory, he's Dory's dad.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. It's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, are they going to get the same 2 people to play the parents as they did in Finding Dory? I thought that would have been neat. Anyway.
What did you think about this? Did you watch this, Ish?
I did. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was like very good, barely good. It was all right. It wasn't bad. Passable. I like that the quickness of the episodes because I don't feel like I'm wasting a lot of time on it. But at the same time, when episode 2 ended, I was like, oh, we really didn't get that much story.
No, it was just basically 2 things, right? It was the 2 things.
Complaints.
Well, I mean, you got a bunch of connection. They finally reference and tie in the Edward Norton Hulk movie to the MCU again.
Well, I never thought that was ever in question.
Well, I think it kind of was when Ruffalo took over because they never really, I mean, other than Thunderbolt Ross, they never really talked about it again.
I mean, he did say that he broke Harlem.
Yeah, they do reference that in this, and they reference it was like, but I was a different person back then, which I thought was
No, but it was
nice
in
little touch.
in Avengers, in the original Avengers movie. He says, "Last time I was in New York, I kind of broke Harlem." He said that.
It's been years since I saw.
Yeah, I felt that there was no real strong need to make that connection, though the quip was pretty funny, though.
Yeah, where he says, "I'm literally a
MCU
different
meta.
person." Yeah.
I thought that was a funny little like jab at that there's been multiple Hulks. But I'm just it was cool to see Abomination come back.
Yeah, I mean he was in Shang-Chi.
I don't think I've seen Shang-Chi.
Well, the cliffhanger for the episode is what his scene in Shang-Chi where he's fighting in this underground fight club
Against
that
Wong.
was supposed to be secretive, but I guess isn't. They put it on the news, so it's not so secretive anymore. But yeah, he was fighting against Wong in Shang-Chi in this underground fight club.
I like that she's just like, oh, I really want to take this case. Abomination breaks out. She's like,
Yeah.
she's just like, this is a great start.
Dude,
How
as a
about
lawyer,
Emil Blonsky?
let me just say that client shenanigans are the worst thing to deal with.
You've
How
got
about
all
Emil
this stuff.
Blonsky doing the Trevor Slattery vibe?
Yeah, definitely.
The whole namaste and my pen pals and all that.
He sent me a really nice haiku.
Yeah.
Sam, so do you think it was realistic for a deputy district attorney to be fired at night at a bar?
No, that's not very realistic. First thing you got to understand about government jobs is that no one gets fired from a government job.
Exactly. So I thought like this was, I guess it's a nitpick to say that was unrealistic, but that kind of stood out like a sore thumb to me. Like, yeah, I don't think that's how this works. She just said she's a deputy district attorney.
I like that he's got 7 inmate pen pals that he's going to go try to spend his life with.
I still
Yeah,
just
they
pictured him
were
with
like
his
funding his Patreon, right? They were going to buy him an island.
His prison only fans,
Exactly.
only prisoners.
Oh man, yeah. No, the first part, the episode had basically two things that happened in it, right? You have the job search, and then you have the Emil Blonsky portion of it. Okay.
soon.
BK says, "How often have you defended Kyle from Comic-Con incidents?" I've never had to do that, not even one time.
It'll come. Give it time.
That's what she said.
Yes. I softballed that right into you.
That's what your wife says too.
Yes.
Stop giving her the softball. Stop
One more
pitching
softball.
softballs,
Hold
Kyle.
on. No.
You got to go hard and heavy.
That's
Stop
what your
pitching
wife
soft
said.
serve.
All right.
Back to the episode. I thought that some of the things that were great were kind of the comedic timing. There was one thing that I thought was kind of a caricature, and that was her new boss, Holloway, just being an absolute dick to everybody. He's sending one guy to Minnesota because he hates the snow. He's firing people just because he doesn't like them, and he's just being absolute caricature of the law firm boss, right? He's just heartless. He's all about the bottom line. And so he's going to be kind of a one-dimensional ego trip. That part I was like, okay, so they're not really taking the people seriously. This is just going to be a caricature. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this show is directed and written by a woman, right? Or women? Like
Yes.
Fuck, now I can't watch it.
Well, no, it's not that. I'm just saying maybe it's the case that men and women just don't understand each other, and so they're writing the men as kind of one-dimensional caricatures of what they seem to be, just tropes. All the men are just tropes. And the only true, dimensional character is going to be Jennifer Walters. But,
I'm fine with that.
But I did enjoy it. I thought it was funny. They played those tropes for laughs, and I laughed a little bit, but I liked it a lot more than the first episode.
I liked it a lot much too.
I like it a lot. I mean, out of the Disney shows, this is probably right now. I'm enjoying it more than a few other Disney shows. Like
Moon Knight.
I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But to me, it's you don't have to do a lot of thinking, so that makes it really better for me.
It's no Mighty Ducks, I'll tell you that.
But it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of fun. Just
You leave
kinda,
Mighty Ducks alone, Ish.
Emilio.
They're game changers, all right, Ish. Leave them alone.
Dude, Gordon Bombay should fucking cameo in She-Hulk.
I still think the best part's at the end when she has to do all the chores at her dad's house.
Yeah, that was
Carrying in all the water
post-credit
and hanging the
scene.
TV and shit. I think that's funny.
The post-credit scene was pretty good.
So
It is kind of sitcom based a little bit.
Yeah,
I like it that it's like that though.
It's a lot like Ally McBeal. If you guys are familiar with Ally McBeal, it's like girl-centric,
Dancing baby.
girl-centric
female
legal
lawyer.
show.
Yes, it is. You were great, Peter Parker Pants. She-Hulk is different from the typical MCU.
Yes, you're on mute. If you're going to say something, take yourself off mute, man.
Right there.
I was responding to Brooklyn Ann Nocenti. I believe she just passed away recently. She's a big-time TV producer. You'd be surprised that like her name is on a lot of our favorite TV shows, including a lot of Star Trek.
I'm with you, Patrick. F the haters. I like She-Hulk too. I
do too.
I enjoy the show.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun.
I enjoy the show mostly because my fiance enjoys it and she is excited to watch it, and to the point where she's even like, we have another episode of She-Hulk to watch, and she could care less about most all the Marvel stuff. So it's
See, it's funny. My wife is the opposite. She wanted to watch the other stuff. This she has zero interest in.
How does she feel about bread, though?
busy being your mom.
About bread.
How does she feel about sourdough, local sourdough?
Don't get me started, Sam. You know, I have a new
Running
segment on Friday nights. Grind my gears. Maybe I'll save it for that.
There you go.
It's a pretty good one. But all right, I think the general consensus all around is that She-Hulk, not too bad. Thumbs
Just
up.
gives it a thumb down for being fired in a bar.
No, I'm not giving it thumbs down. I don't hate the show. I don't think it's awesome, but it's all right. I'll give it.
Oh, went too far.
Yeah, I mean,
thumbs touching.
I enjoy the show. I mean, I
One
get
thumb
it.
up for me.
I just, it's just fun to watch. Like, it's lighthearted. I think it's, yeah.
I don't
like
feel
it.
it's insulted my intelligence yet.
I wouldn't look that deep into it. It's just
I'll just stick to watching WWE.
Nobody respond to that.
Oh, guys, if speaking of wrestling, if you guys are wrestling fans, I do want to give a shout out to Party Hard Wrestling is having their finale, their series finale at the Nile in Mesa on Saturday, September 3rd. It's like $25 for adults to go. And this is spectacular, like the most awesome amateur wrestling ever. I mean, it's not amateur because they do get paid, but it's like local wrestling. It's insane. So if you guys are in the Arizona, Phoenix area, and you want to check out some crazy stuff, like the closest thing to being in a cartoon in real life, you need to go see Party Hard Wrestling at the Nile next weekend.
So this is something I wanted to address the chat as well as my co-hosts up here. House of the Dragon. What did everybody think? I don't think Sam didn't watch it because he's not a Game of Thrones guy. I'm not a Game of Thrones guy. I just watched it because I just wanted to come on here and shit on it.
I liked it. I think I'm the only one that watches Game of Thrones on this panel. I don't know if Ish does or not, but I enjoyed it quite a bit, honestly. But I enjoyed the callbacks to the stuff you already know, which happens in the particular series, and I like the reason you find out the reason. Pretty much the whole like prophecy of the White Walkers has been going on for a long time before that stuff happened, and I don't know. I'm interested in the dragons and the Targaryen stuff, so it kind of plays right into my wheelhouse. They again, it's one of those things they didn't really like you said alluded to before. They didn't really hit home with the nudity because there wasn't a lot of it, but
There's a goddamn orgy going on.
yeah, but you don't see a lot there though. Like I don't know, and I watched it with the sound bites of Matt Smith is ugly. He's got a horse face, and that's coming from my fiance. So that's all I heard the entire time I watched it is how ugly Matt Smith is, and how if she's gonna sit through the show, she hopes he dies quickly because she doesn't want to sit there and look at him. And I don't know, but I liked it for what it was. I'm excited to see where it goes, and
I don't know. I gave it a shot because I didn't like Game of Thrones, but I was like, new show. I'll give it a try.
Mojo, I mean, yeah, the way Game of Thrones ended was bad, but it shouldn't leave a bad taste in your mouth for this prequel series that's completely separate. Well, it's not completely separate, but that isn't tied to the original show. I would say watch episode 1 and give it a shot, and if you don't like it from there, then good on you. But I think it's different enough where you got to kind of just take that hit of mouthwash, wash that bad taste out of your mouth, and go back for
like, did they really
something a
even
little
cut
bit
the dude's
different.
dick off? I mean, that was a little extra.
That was dope, dude. How the
I bet you
city
enjoyed
guard
that.
just went through the town and cut people's hands off and called the dude a rapist and cut his wang off, and then you got to see like the jousting and the battle for the celebration of the king having an heir, having a son, and just
Dude, like that part where they had to give the cesarean, I was like, oh fuck,
right, it's
she's
brutal.
gonna die.
Mm-hmm. And how she doesn't
Freaking
even
like
get to make
Champ,
that
though,
choice.
man. They just fucking sliced right into her. And then the kid died. That's fucked.
Matt Smith is awesome. He's not horse faced at all. Okay, he is an awesome actor, but he is not the best thing to look at apparently. So
Yeah,
no, George R. R. Martin has not finished writing the end of Game of Thrones yet.
he'll be done in about 2035.
But
He says he's getting close.
He'll be done at the same time as we have a moon station.
yes, 00, exactly. The throwbacks to the king has the dagger that Arya uses to kill the White Walker King with, and
So are they at the place like that the throne that throne that's there?
the
Is
Iron
that
Throne.
where it's at now, or does it eventually get moved somewhere else?
No, yeah, they're in
Game of
King's
Thrones?
Landing. They're in King's Landing where
Is that where
Game of
they're
Thrones
at? Oh,
is.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Because
So
I thought
I
the
mean,
Targaryens were somewhere else.
no, they were. Yeah, all that takes place in King's Landing. But I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited to see where it goes and more dragons. I'm always down for more dragon stuff. So,
They're supposed to do time jumps in this.
not that I'm. No, he's making the joke that there were time jumps in the original series. I don't think they're gonna do time jumps in this. But
So, I'll probably end up having to watch it anyway. So I'll probably end up. What's it going to be like? 5 episodes, hopefully.
I don't know what their episode count is. Honestly, I would say it's probably gonna be 10. But
Meh.
you're dragging this topic out.
And on
All
that
right.
note,
On that note, let's get into some comic book reviews, shall we?
let's do it.
start with Amazing Spider-Man number 8.
All right, let me bring that up.
Great offerings of Jean Romita Jr. art.
I don't know. Maybe it's just by attrition, but I'm starting to get more used to the JR art again. And in this issue, I didn't think it was that bad.
There's some bad ones.
I can't, dude. I can't do it. I can't. You watch some of the amazing artists like Ryan Otley when he was drawing this book, and you watch some of the amazing artists that have taken on Spider-Man, and then you go to JR, who's just like, everyone's got a blockhead. I just can't do his art, man. I just can't. I can't do it anymore. Like, it picked up where the last issue ended with Spider-Man being dropped from the skies by the vulture, I should say, thinking he's going to die. And he comes up with this brilliant idea that he's still got web fluid, so he's going to break open a web cartridge to try and use it to break his fall. And that's an excessive amount of snaps on 4 panels.
Drink to the snaps, huh?
Yeah. It's an excessive amount of snaps within 4 panels. And then, yeah, so he stops and breaks his fall using the web fluid. Not that I'm not saying it wasn't a smart decision, but I'm just saying it's an excessive amount of snaps. But
how come his arms are pinned to his side like that?
Well, because I guess
they get caught by the web fluid.
The way he's going, the web fluid is bracing his shoulders, and it looks like it's got. I was almost pointing, like you can actually see me pointing on my screen. It's actually like attached to his fingers, so it looks like it's just kind of all pulling him back up.
What are these right here? These 3 little things in his underwear.
Web cartridges.
Is that extras?
Yeah.
It worked. Yo, Spidey, look out.
Got him.
And Vulture is pissed.
Yeah, and he spears an upside down Peter Parker and launches him back into the skies. Like that's terrible right there, Ish. That's a terrible face.
This, Bruce, this is what I'm liking about
that's
this.
That's not the best face right there.
He's getting his ass handed to him every issue so far.
Yes. That's what I've liked about it too. But like you would think at that point, like Peter would be sliding off him because he's not even like attempting to hold him at all. I guess maybe just the force and the momentum is keeping him there, but I don't know. So the Vulture continues his assault on Peter Parker.
Claws.
Yeah.
Dude,
throwing him into a building. Like that's a good
right
shot.
into the chimney.
Dude, in the chimney with care.
Yep.
So pretty cool panels.
So in the last issue, Norman Osborn presented Peter with an opportunity to work at Oscorp because Norman Osborn has now been absolved of all his sins by Sin Eater, so he's a good guy and he doesn't want to go back to being a bad guy. So he builds a suit for Peter to use out of Oscorp tech. Peter declines to use it at that point. So now that Vulture has messed up and destroyed his web shooters and beat him to a pulp, he's pretty much got no choice. So he calls Norman Osborn for help to bring him the suit, and Osborn pretty much says no. Gives him the double middle fingers, says deuces, and I'm not going to do it. So then Norman gets mad and
breaks his phone.
What
the hell?
Yeah, so it's more of like Peter getting beat up by the Vulture, where he eventually comes up with the idea that he's going to use the Vulture to get him to Oscorp to get that suit. So he leaps onto him as the Vulture's flying by for another pass to finish him off. And he pretty much rides him all the way back to Oscorp. And I liked the fact that it says in that panel, "Motherfucker, are you steering me?" Like I kind of chuckled to myself at that panel right there. And he's just like, maybe. He's very coy, like, maybe. So he gets him back to Oscorp, and Peter gets the suit, and then Peter's got this glider, and he throws basically a pumpkin bomb that's full of spiders on Toomes and takes him out.
Oh shit.
Hey, can we go back up? Can we go back up to the panel where Vulture slams into the glass? I think it's the one right before. Well, just every time a bird slams into the glass of my house, it always leaves the wing prints.
Right.
Unreadable. No wing prints.
Or it's dead, lifeless carcass on the ground because it broke its neck.
Freaking birds.
Like I
in
love,
glass,
like
man.
this is badass. Like this
Yeah,
is where
he's got a spider glider, and he makes reference about how gliding around is more fun than web slinging, and that he should have done it a long time ago. But so then he starts the assault on Vulture, hitting him in the face with the spider bomb, I guess you could call it, which releases all these like little mechanical spiders.
it's like
so
a
then,
horror movie.
yeah. So now that Spider-Man has this new suit, he pretty much takes Vulture to the woodshed, who's all upset that Peter told his granddaughter that he's a murderer, and he gets upset about it. And Peter's like, "What are you trying to do to me right now?" He's like, "You think that the response for your granddaughter finding out you're a murderer and getting angry at you is to come try and murder me? You think that's the best thing to do?" And he's pretty much like, "Yeah, that's what I thought." So
Yes, the Iron Spider suit is better, but this one
it
isn't
is.
bad.
Well, and we haven't really seen what the Oscorp Spider-Man suit does other than this little bit of gliding and attaching to his back. Like it's still kind of unknown what it holds and what it can do, but it was cool enough. And then
Like
you
if
kind of have a
return the
comment.
favor.
Yeah. And then he's like, "No, the suit can do one more thing. Check this out." And it's got a built-in emoji face.
That's where I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, he's asleep. Darn." He's hitting with this like little emoji smiley face. And I was like,
That's
come
funny.
on. And then, so Peter has this confrontation. This is the part where he's kind of like talking to him about how he thought it was a wise choice to try and kill Peter after his granddaughter finds out he's a killer and gets pissed off at him.
Those are the worst webs ever.
Yes, they are. Looks like looks like he fell into like a porcupine nest and just got shot with spines.
Or he felt
It's
a
terrible.
cactus.
Yeah. But so it comes with Peter coming back to Oscorp and basically confronting Norman he looked like he's taking a dump. Yeah. Basically confronting Norman, asking him like, why didn't you come help me? Is this a trick? Are you trying to kill me? And Norman basically breaks down and says, "I wanted to help you, but because Sin Eater absolves me of my sins, I'm afraid that I'm still that person and I can't be that person anymore. So the minute I step back on that glider, people are gonna automatically associate me with the Green Goblin again, and it's gonna come out that I'm that person. And as much as I want to, I have to fight that urge." And Peter pretty much sees the renaissance in Norma Osborn's character and agrees to work at Oscorp.
Yep.
And
Was he
that's
giving him
pretty
a
much
Chicago sunroof? Is that what was happening?
Yep.
So, yep, that's
I like how Norm Osborn looks like he's only got one tooth in that panel too. Like
Yeah,
he didn't
go
draw
back.
any teeth but one.
Oh,
Just one
yeah,
tooth.
man.
So does Peter.
Same with
does too.
Peter.
Yeah.
Peter looks like he's trying to give him
well,
the
he
dirty
just got
hair.
all his knocked out, so
Make my day.
Yeah. But this has been a very good arc in Spider-Man so far. Like the creative team on this is really doing well, minus the Ramita Jr. art. But the story itself has been very, very good. I really like this Matt Reed's Comics to You segment. Just reviewing it, man. Giving you the gist, the rundown.
yeah. He needs to go to a new barber.
Well, I mean, it's been his style for the last 40 years.
But yeah, that's like one of the like Brucifer said that I think it was Brucifer that said that it's like every issue he's just getting obliterated, just the piss beaten out of him. And that's definitely been one of the highlights. So
That's what I thought too. That he has cornrows. So I thought the same thing. So, want to do damage control?
Yeah.
Bill. So this is Damage Control 1 by the same guy who wrote the Goldbergs, Adam Goldberg. Now, I don't remember if you guys read the book. It was called Hank. Oh, fuck. But it was Hank something, Agent of Hydra. And it's pretty much like Hank clocked in.
Hank Johnson, Agent of
Hank
Hydra.
Johnson. Thank you, Matt. And it was like, it wasn't like so much as a superhero thing as it was more like a day at work.
Yeah.
Like, Hank Johnson was like, you saw him at home with his wife, and like he clocked into work. He had a dude that sat next to him that was his buddy, and so this is kind of what Matt and I were talking about. This was kind of that same essence to it. So just sitting here. If you want to do it, Matt, you're really good at reading the comic for everybody.
So this dude is basically applying for a job with damage control in a coffee shop. He doesn't even really know what he's applying for. He's talking to the guy interviewing him, and the guy's basically bragging about how he works at damage control and how they're like the company that is responsible for cleaning up superhero messes, like when the Hulk smashes through a borough in New York or anything like that. They are the ones that are responsible for the cleanup and basically the press of it and trying to take care of it. So as you see, like, and what I love about this book is just like the off the wall and like odd color interactions they have with these heroes. So like Moon Knight walks into this coffee shop and he's just like, "Yo, Moon Knight, what's up?" And Moon Knight's like, "Hey, you, like, I don't even know you." And so then they're talking, like, in the background, Moon Knight's ordering a coffee and they call him Mona. And then they call him Moob Knife. Yeah. And they even write it on the coffee mug. And then like he's getting mad about how like
I like what he
asked
actually
for
bought.
no whip. Yeah.
He got a grande quad, non-fat, one pump, no whip, mocha upside down.
Yeah. For Mona. And then he's mad about how like he asked for no whip and they messed up his coffee order. Like you would really see Moon Knight in just a coffee shop like that, right? Like he's like seriously Moob
Yeah,
Knife.
how does he drink it through his mask?
Right. So then
are the faces in this any better than in Spider-Man? Let's be real.
I like the art in this a little bit better than what Ramita's offering, but
I'm looking at some of these faces and I'm like, that's kind of not so.
Yeah,
Stop picking up for JR.
Yeah. So then he takes him back to like the damage control main office, and he's like, "That building's old and condemned, isn't it? And falling apart." And he's like, "That's just what we want you to think." And he opens the door and walks in, and you just see like a massive pile of superheroes there. So you got a very busty Scarlet Witch looking like she was drawn by J. Scott Campbell. You got a very weird looking Kamala Khan standing there. Thor with his back to everyone, then Spider going up on there, and Wolverine. So you get introduced to what the damage control, and that his job is, he gets hired and his job is going to be the mailroom, and you have to deliver all the mail by 5 o'clock. Otherwise this world ending event can happen.
I like this right here. You're going to need
Yeah.
to check under your eye patch.
Yeah. And Nick Fury says, "Do that and you lose your arm, son." So like, it's just got really off the wall, cool interactions with the heroes in it. So then he gets, there he is in the mail room, and he's got to go deliver mail to floor 13. He's like, "There's no floor 13." He's like, "Oh, maybe it's just a little symbol." And he's in the elevator with Ghost Rider, and he asks Ghost Rider to turn down his head because it's a little hot in there, and
because he has an ice cream cake.
Yeah,
that he's got to deliver.
Yeah, and so Ghost Rider makes it hotter, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he's like, "This is my floor," and he gets off. And so what this is, the 13th floor is a pocket dimension. They explained it that there's so many people that work there in this division, and so many cubicles that they had to go to Reed Richards to build a pocket dimension to fit all this stuff in. So that's what floor 13 is it a pocket dimension. So he's going through and gets told where to go to deliver the ice cream cake. And that part was kind of funny because by the time he finds the guy, you see She-Hulk standing there and Forge. And so by the time he finds the guy that he's supposed to have the cake delivered to, it's all melted. And the guy gets like pissed off because he looks forward to this one slice of ice cream cake every year on his birthday. And apparently he never gets it. Always molded or olded and melted. And so he can't ever get there. So then they has to, like I said, he's got to work getting that mail delivered by 5 o'clock. So he enlists the help of Nightcrawler to bamf him all over the office to get the mail delivered, and he forgets to deliver one letter. And so he says, well, one letter, what can that harm cause? So he shreds it. And he's like, nobody will ever know. Yeah. Well, then everything goes to hell. There's a red alert. Everyone's flipping out. And his boss or the guy that hired him says, what, did you deliver all the mail? And he's like, yeah, of course. And he's like, are you sure? And he's like, well, maybe there might have been an incident where I shredded a letter. He's like, we need to find that letter, because if we don't, the scrolls are going to like invade the earth, or the scrolls are going to like blow up the earth. So they start digging through the dumpster, and they enlist the help of Quicksilver to try and find the letter and piece it back together. And that's kind of where the main story ended, is with Quicksilver trying to help him put this stuff together. He's like, maybe the mailroom wasn't the best place for you. He's like, I've got just a job for you. And then that's where the main story ended.
I just found this a fun read just for that. It's a shitty work day. It's a behind the scenes. It's the stuff that you think about in comics, what really happens. There's got to be other stuff that's going on, and
it's that side you always wonder about. It's the everyday man who works, like you said, works that shitty same 9-to-5 job that you have, but just was around superheroes. And it's cool just to see the interaction and the difference in it, and just the comedy. Like I actually surprisingly really enjoyed this book. Like I'm looking forward to issue 2.
And then
what's that logo? What's that like bare-faced logo?
That's just the damage control logo.
And then this is a separate story that I did not read.
I didn't read it either. I was like, I had fun. I'm not going to read this separate off-colored story. So then I Am Robin, a book that leads into Batman versus Robin.
I love this cover.
Yes, the cover's awesome, but the art in this book is so inconsistent. 1 minute it's really, really good, then it takes a steep turn, and then it gets really, really good again. So like there's parts of this panel that are really, really dope, and then you get to like the faraway shots of Robin, and then this shot of him when he gets his heart ripped out. It's
almost like reading Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, kind of. Not quite that bad, but still bad. But Stick Boy says that's a Bulldog logo, damage control. There you go.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. Go ahead, Kyle. Explain it to us.
What's that?
I said, go ahead, Kyle. Explain it to us, or not.
I was spacing out. What's going on here? This is the Demon Heart. She promises it to this dude. Go ahead, Matt.
I can't remember that dude's name. That's why I was like, I'm gonna kick it off to you.
Ah, you bastard.
I can't remember his name, but this is a terrible.
Jack Skellington, isn't that Jack?
It's a terrible review.
But she gives him powers for getting her the heart. And what's going on is
we're just gonna call him Lord Deadman. It's not Deadman, but it's so he makes a deal.
Lord Deathman.
Oh, okay, there you go, Lord Deathman. Then he makes a deal that if he gets her the heart of the demon, then she is gonna basically upgrade him. So he gives her the heart, and he says, he thinks that they're in love, and he says, well, I thought you were going to give me an upgrade for that. So she gives it to him. And then she doesn't want Robin sniffing around, Damian Wayne sniffing around, finding out what's really going on the Lazarus Island. So when they start to approach, he upgraded, and he starts attacking them. And everyone's rushing in, and he just starts pretty much dispatching everybody. And then even I can't remember her name either. Cardiac. It's not Cardiac.
It's Flatline.
Flatline. Thank you. Flatline goes in and starts attacking her old boss, and even he kind of dispatches her quickly. And then Robin just walks in, and he's like, "All right, let's do this." And he starts to get his butt cacked, And he's like, love kills. And then Robin's like, yeah, I know. And then rips his heart out. So
takes away all of his power.
Yeah.
Even
He's
though
like,
his heart
"Now
will
what?"
regenerate
And
eventually.
yeah, he's gonna regenerate. And so Robin tosses the heart to Cardiac and
Flatline.
or Flatline. God damn, I'm just gonna call her Cardiac from now on. Screw it. Even though Cardiac's
Cardiac's
a
Spider-Man villain.
Spider-Man villain. Yep. Yes, he is still on Lazarus Island. So basically, he's talking to them about. They start talking about Robin, leaving the island, and it's time for him to go home. And he gets into the whole speech about his dad, and she's like, "We just need a beach day." And so kind of has snapshots of them having a beach day together, and basically it leaves off with Robin saying, "I have some unfinished business with my father that I need to take care of," and it's leading into Batman versus Robin. So there's a
and he is reading a
of
manga through this, Sam.
Robin reading manga.
That's what he's sitting and doing.
That terrible art. And she's talking about how he shouldn't be telling people that that's his girlfriend. And then you got like Junior Deathstroke peeping Tom from the woods.
Right. And then they're like leave, and he's like, I can't leave. And they're like, all right, we're out of here.
Yeah, like Connor Hawke is leaving to go find his father, Holly, and then he's like, well, shouldn't you go find your dad too? And Damien's kind of like, we got unfinished business with him. And this one's like, story continues in Batman versus Robin #1.
Yes.
But that's a 6 splash page right there.
Yes.
I hope Batman versus Robin is full of beach days. We need more of that.
It's a classic manga trope, the beach day.
But I mean, it wasn't bad.
I want to know how his mask stays on without that middle piece
day.
here.
So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. You need to get that. So, yeah, and he ends up climbing in that cave, and he gets here.
To be continued in Batman and Robin #1.
Is that the Castle Greystoke?
Yep. Greystoke.
Greystoke. So that's not bad. Hold on, I got to take this call as well. Hello?
It's my agent wanting to get me a job for my amazing comic book review skills. But that leads us into our next segment. Best and worst comic covers of the week. Kicking us off, we got our worst comic of the week, cover of the week. Deathstroke Inc. 12.
That's Marco. Don't pick up.
Yeah.
So this is Deathstroke. God, it's
Deathstroke Inc. 12. That is a terrible, terrible cover. It's a really cool looking shark, though.
Shark with a gun in its mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, every shark has a gun in its mouth. It's standard equipment.
Hartman says Archer inspired.
Yes. This week, I think the cool cover of the week was tough. There were so many good covers.
Yeah, so this is one we'll let the chat decide on too, but Kyle and I were kind of torn on which one it should be. Kyle really likes that I Am Robin cover. I mean, it's sleek, simple cover, but really well done. Then we had the Gwenverse, Spider-Gwenverse covers for issue 5. I really like the Land cover, even though it's pretty overdone. And then we had the Harley Quinn reprint of the Killing Joke homage, which was my favorite cover of the week. Like, I was really excited for this cover. So Hartman says not the Robin.
And then there was the Darth Vader cover.
Yep. Oh, that's right. And then the Darth Vader cover. That Darth Vader cover, I think, for me, it's a tie between the Harley Quinn and the Darth Vader, because that Vader cover is really sick.
Both Vader covers were sick. The A cover was just as equally awesome.
You like the Miles cover? Miles cover wasn't. I don't know. So you're talking about this one? It's a dope cover, but I don't know if it was like when. It's just something about when you look at that Harley cover for me in person in your hand, it just hits a little bit different. The Harley cover?
Yeah. I mean, it is a good cover.
It is an homage, though, yes, but it's still a very, very sick cover. Like, I kind of want to display it in a frame on my wall behind me, right next to like Killing Joke. Just, I don't know, just something about that cover looks fresh. Honestly, even like the facsimile, like the Detective Comics 27 facsimile, it is just a beautiful looking cover in person. It's just something about it, man. But there you go. The Miles one is cool, but it's just, I don't know, something about that Harley cover just hit different for me. So.
Dude, and I bet you it's almost impossible to find a pure white of that Robin.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's all kinds of color rub on it. It's going to be, it's a...
let's see. Does mine have color rub on it?
What's the back of the issue look like?
Out here.
So you got to think that's what's rubbing on the cover.
So, I mean, mine doesn't
have any color rub.
Mine does not have any color rub. No.
So Eric, if you want to pull these up, Eric says his top 3 covers this week are Heavy Metal 318 cover A, Tales of the Human Target #1 cover A, Swamp Thing 16 cover B.
Swamp Thing 16 cover B, huh?
Yeah, that fucking Vader cover though, man. I saw that and I was like, fuck. But there were so many great covers. It was really hard for me this week to try to find what I thought the best covers were. Because as I was going through the previews, I was just like, man.
That Swamp Thing cover B is pretty cool. Let me share my screen here.
Oh, I didn't even see that. That is pretty good. Let's see. What was the other one? Heavy Metal 318. Let me bring that up.
Let's see. I don't know if Heavy Metal 318 is going to be on this site that I'd use.
I got it right here.
I'll start sharing my screen.
Is this the cover you're talking about, Eric? It's got that Game of Thrones feel to it.
Oh, it is on there. Yeah. That is cool.
What was the other one that he said? Tales of
the Heavy Metal sure does the lovely ladies well.
Yes.
Human Target #1. Cover A.
Says Harley barely holds over on Swamp Thing for the top spot.
Yeah, the Swamp Thing one is cool, but like I said, that there's just something about that Harley cover to me. I don't know.
Let me see.
But
what is it again?
Human Target.
Oh, I think I know what this.
By Tom King.
I think I was contemplating this one. Let's see. I don't think this one's it. Nope. It came out this Wednesday?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, Human Target #1. I can't find it, but we'll take your word for it, Eric.
I think I got it right here.
That definitely should be on League of Geeks. Under the DC books.
Is it this one?
Oh, Tales of the Human Target. He's right.
Oh,
it was.
Yeah,
like
I think I got it right here.
I could take or leave that cover.
I liked it. It's cool.
I'm not a James Bond fan though. That feels very James Bondish to me.
James
That means it's cool, though.
sucks.
You're just gonna insult Ish.
Kyle loves James Bond.
You're just really insulting you're insulting yourself when you say things like that.
No, sir, that's an incorrect statement.
Well, there you go. Those are our top picks for cover of the week. We're gonna move to a new segment that I don't have an intro for yet. We're trying out called the first appearance this week. We had two of them. Fantastic Four 46. We had the first appearance of Joanna, the sister of Reed Richards. So
Joanna
the half
Pfeffers?
sister of Pfeffers, the half sister of Reed Richards. So you get her first appearance this week, as well as everyone wanted to know what's going on with Billy Morales. Well, in Miles Morales 41, you get to see that in alternate timeline, Billy Morales becomes the sensational Spider Smasher. So those are your two big first appearances this week.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So there you go. And now moving into our top 5 list of the week, we decided to do top 5 She-Hulk covers. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. Since I have to hold on, it's loading with my slow ass computer.
Well, you just want me to go then?
Yeah, go for it.
This was my number 5 from She-Hulk number 4. I just kind of like how she's in the ring and she's got the Thing as her boxing coach. Number 4 from Dan Slott's She-Hulk number 1. I just really like the artistic work on that with the scales of justice and the whole justice is blind, and she's like pulling up the bandana, giving a little smile, nod to the camera. Then I like the She-Hulk number 2 cover. Can't ever think of the artist on this. Is Berntal cover, right? Ish. Isn't this the Berntal? I think it is.
What movie is that from? Is that from Pretty Woman?
I don't know. I didn't remember.
Kinda looks like
it. So.
But I really like that cover. I just feel like it's a sleek, well done cover. And then my number 2 is this She-Hulk cover. I think it looks really, really well done. And then my number 1 is
Jen Bartel. That's right.
Yeah. The Bartel. That's right. Thank you. Yes, Jen Bartel. Thank you, 00. Lena Yuck homage to the very first Immortal She-Hulk cover, which I think is very, very well done. So that is my top 5 for She-Hulk covers.
I'll go ahead and do mine. Oops. So I got this Scotty Young. I just like it. It's fun. That's just a fun cover. I imagine that's another one of those covers that is probably hard to get it at a high grade. But I like it. Next one I did a Sensational She-Hulk 53 because it's a cool little homage cover.
That's cool. I considered that one for my top 5.
This is just a great cover. Same thing. I did the Dan Slott one, so I'm just going to skip past it. I did this one because this is just fucking badass. I really like. We've got
that is a bad.
Nipple. It's just got everything in it. She's nice and ripped. Some low pants.
Low-rise jeans.
Some hip huggers there. She's fucking shit up. Like it's just a great cover. And then this one, I just love it. This land cover is just fucking badass.
Yeah, look, he can draw guns.
And he can look at them fucking silencers. Holy shit.
She means business.
So,
although, I get that it's done because the holster on her hip, but like that one leg looks very, very small compared to the other one, even with the holster, but still it's a pass.
Yes. So those are my top 5. Now we get into Ish's top 5.
Yeah, we'll do Ish's top 5. I don't know how you wanted them, Ish, because you didn't send them to me numbered, so I just threw them in here.
That so far, this is all right. I like this one and the one where it's like the puzzle pieces. I picked both because it's just depicting the inner struggle of the character, not necessarily for the artwork itself. And I fucking hate that Toys R Us thing at the top, but I like the scene that it depicts. This is just cool, man. I love.
I considered that one.
That's just badass. Yeah, so this one and the first one, I kind of felt just kind of the meta-ness of the character and everything that's going on in the book all kind of summarized into one image. And then I picked the first issue and the final issue, which are very similar. Of course, with the breaking of the fourth wall, she's reading her original #1 comic book. And the quip about, if you don't read this, I'm going to come take away your X-Men. It's kind of bullying the X-Men incels in their basements, I guess. And the final issue, when the comic book was canceled, if you skip to the next one.
This is the next one. Like I don't know how you.
Okay,
this is what
right.
you sent. So
you just use the same image.
That's what I said. You sent the same cover twice, and you're like, no, they're different. I'm like,
No,
all right.
In the chat, they were different.
Yeah.
No, in the chat they were different. This is your error.
Okay, I'll take the blame for it.
The final issue is
Yeah.
very similar, and she's making good on her promise. She's like, my series got canceled. I'm coming after you. I'm taking your X-Men.
Yeah, she says, now hand over those X-Men comics. Okay, kids, we had a deal. Now hand over those X-Men comics, yeah. And she's holding both covers. I don't know if you can see that.
There we go. So it's almost before a decade before Deadpool, She-Hulk was doing this stuff, breaking the fourth wall, being all meta, talking to the readers, referencing their fandoms.
Here, I'll make it right for you, Ish.
Thank you, man.
I'll fix my blunder. There you go, Ish.
So Joe says sensational 29, 34, and 40 are his picks. So,
Very nice. So then, Kyle, you have a new segment that you want to kick off tonight, right?
So yeah, I would
End the night.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna try to keep it more theme related from now on. Like I was thinking about when we were first talking about doing this, I was talking about like maybe we could make it like movies that had to do with something that was a lot of expensive shit was lost. But I didn't do that. I kept it I wanted to keep this week's one a little fun. And what I mean by movie wars is I'm going to show 2 movies and we're going to vote which is the better movie and why, which one is preferred to watch and why. And I figured this would be fun for the chat, fun for us. So I'll bring it up. So here in Movie Wars.
But Kyle, you hate every movie.
I don't hate it.
Yes, you hate every movie.
Unless it's James Bond.
You shut up about James Bond
movies.
Who's talking shit about James Bond?
Hey,
You
Bob, sit down out
got
there.
a license to critique.
So this week for my Movie Wars, I picked Tremors versus the Burbs.
Ooh.
Is it Halloween already?
Tremors all day.
Dude,
Tremors.
Burbs is great.
the Tremors is great, but the Burbs are, that's just a fucking, everything about that is just a great fucking movie.
It's so funny and so creepy.
It's so like, so what, okay, so Matt, what do you say? You say Tremors?
Tremors.
Sam?
The Burbs.
Ish?
Tremors.
See, I saw both of these in theaters multiple times. This is when I was a kid. and I
Holy
liked
shit! You went to the theaters multiple times to watch these movies.
both of these movies. I did.
Good night. Stop the presses.
It's when I was a
Kyle
kid and I
handled
didn't
movie
mind. It happens. I'm not going to admit it very often, but this is a hard pick for me. This is a hard pick because like they keep teetering like this for me, but I'm gonna have to go with the Burbs.
That's
So
a tie. We need the chat to give us a
No,
tie.
your mom picked Tremors. She breaks the tie.
So we got
Oh,
in there.
we got to
we've
put
got-
out the whole chat.
Then we got
You
to
can't
the
just say
chat.
your
So we
mom.
got
the whole
the
chat.
got the
Burbs. Peter
Burbs.
Parker Panson at the Burbs. We've got Brucifer with Tremors. Hartman says the Burbs.
Wookie
Solo
Wookie
Wookie says the Burbs. Stick Boys the
Sticks
Burbs. Your mom
Burbs.
Tremors.
Burbs is life.
Hi Ish. This is Evan. Burbs is life.
Dude, it's
Justin Berbers.
Burbs,
Yeah, but those are
Burbs.
repeats. Let's just.
Burbs.
That
Burbs
doesn't.
all the
Justin
way.
Berbers does not count.
Okay.
It looks like
Well,
Burbs has it.
The Burbs
The
is
Burbs
crushing
has
it. So the
I
Burbs
just,
takes the win.
So every week, I think I'm gonna. And if you in the chat would like
No,
us
Kyle,
to do,
hang on. You ought to do brackets so we can keep track. So let's have the winner stay on, and then we'll bring another movie in. How's that? So Burbs will stay for next week, and we'll see how good it does against the next pick in your verses.
Okay. So if anybody in the chat has movie ideas that you would like to shoot at me that I don't think of, at Kyle6479 on on the Instagram. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you can shoot me a messenger there. But so this week it's the Burbs.
The Burbs will be back next week to go up against a new movie. That's how we'll do it.
We're also kicking around the idea of doing
The Tremors too.
a segment called Comic Wars, also kind of in the same light, but it's where you give us a situation or an event, and we try to find a comic book story that we feel fits that event. So you would give us a topic, and then the next week we would come prepared with the comic book story or arc that we feel best incorporates said topic or event, and then you would vote on who's the winner. So
if you have an idea for that, a theme that we can do, you could do Kyle6479, or you could hit up the Absolute Geek Instagram with your ideas.
if someone
And you
there
send us
starts
that
talking to you about a
mind-blowing
brick
idea,
oven,
I'll send you a prize.
just know that if someone hits you back about a brick oven when you're talking to the Absolute Geek, it's not me. So just disregard it.
So
And
yeah, there it is. So we'll I don't know how we'll do it, but we're going to do Comic Wars and we're going to keep doing Movie Wars. So
also, just a reminder, we have our giveaway for the Riddler book, signed Riddler book. We're gonna pick a winner next week. You just have to leave a comment below of what your favorite comic book this week was, and make sure that you are subscribed to both the Absolute Geek channel and the Rennavision channel, and you are entered to win that book. And hopefully, we'll pick a winner next week if people actually enter. So,
Dodgeball clip.
who doesn't want free
We should
shit?
do a
Oh, do we have a
contest to
dodgeball
see
clip?
how many books we can lose in grading companies.
I don't want to do. I do
I'm
not
going
want
to
to
send my
participate
entire
in that.
collection to see if they lose it.
I do not want to participate in that.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a clip in the Google Doc, Matt. Featuring
Gavin, do
Absolute
not
Geeks.
watch the new Thor movie.
Featuring Absolute Geek's own Tyler Tryon.
Okay.
I'll
Here we
stop
go.
sharing my screen. But if you
And
guys
we'll
like
end
that
with
idea,
a-
we'll keep doing it because I just think
Yeah.
it's fun. I'm really
We'll end
excited
the
for
night.
Comic Wars, though.
With a dodgeball clip. Didn't ask me to include audio.
Yeah, don't.
You don't need audio?
Strike. Let's not get that copyright strike. All right, so on the far side is Tyler Tryon, who is a co-host on one of Absolute Geek shows, and he's also a tremendous catch when it comes to dodgeball.
Good
Boom.
idea, Bruce Fur.
Not bad.
What is it? Let me see it again.
Isaac versus Tyler. Tyler gets a shot off. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Okay, here we go. So 1v1. It's like the Old West. Boom. Gets that catch.
Got the catch.
Boom. We are live every Wednesday night. If you guys find our Facebook group, you can watch Triple D Dodgeball live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Arizona time until we quit. It's usually about an hour 20. We love to have viewers. And if you guys want to come play, you're always welcome. We don't charge a thing. You just got to stand in there and get hit by a ball.
There you go.
Sam will be your Huckleberry.
You got that right.
But, well, I think that does it for another episode of Saturday Night Special, guys.
Good show, man. Thanks for everybody for coming and hanging out. Check out Thresholds of Reality. We had a couple good interviews this week that were a lot of fun. Long live and prosper. But go over to. We should be putting out an episode.
We'll
should
have
be
2
putting out the
episodes next
Ghost
week.
Hunt episode soon, where we talk about our ghost hunt.
Yeah, that'll be not this coming week, but the week after that. We've got 2 new episodes, 2 new interviews coming this week as well.
Because I think we're still going through our footage. But thank you, everybody, for showing up. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for the kind words.
It'll get better, we promise.
Can I say one thing?
No,
Always.
you can't. Yes,
One
go ahead.
thing,
Ish.
come on. So since Thursday, this weekend is the world's largest Star Trek convention at Bally's Hotel in Las
Is that how you met
Vegas.
your wife?
Actually, no, but we did get engaged there. They announced this morning, Saturday and Sunday are the big days. They announced that the convention was completely sold out, full capacity. So Star Trek fandom is at one of its peaks right now.
That's a
Well,
lot of
very
trekkers
strong.
in one location.
It's a lot of trickery.
Yes. And you'd be shocked at the amount of partying that goes on there. It gets crazy.
I'm not shocked at all.
Thank you, Sam.
They get wild on that Sintha Hall.
Yeah.
What did
It's the
I
one
do?
time of the year for the nerds to just.
I don't know how I did
friggin'
this, but all right.
Anyway, I just wanted to say that. So shout out to Star Trek.
But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning into another Saturday Night Special. Make sure to show your love to the rest of the shows on Rennavision. You got the Star Wars show tomorrow night, the Attack show on Wednesday, and all the other great content Pete and the guys put out on this channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Absolute Geek channel and catch our content on Fridays and everything else we put out. And make sure to check out Thresholds of Reality. I know Kyle and Sam work hard to entertain you guys with all the crazy, unknown nonsense that may or may not exist out in this world, and the people that believe in their own brand, I guess. So,
Dude, that UFO, if you guys go listen to an episode, go listen to the guy we talked about the UFOs. Not only does he believe that, not only does he believe that UFOs exist, but they're actual shapeshifters, and they come out of vortexes out of South Mountain here in Phoenix. And he has this crazy footage that looks like a dragonfly that he says is a serpent. And then he's got this crazy red orb that he caught. So it's a really fun episode. You guys go check it out. So
Good stuff. We got lots of good stuff on there.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So you guys have a good week. Enjoy your Saturday.
oh God, oh yeah.